To a great day, to a great start. Hello everyone, my name is Amita RC. I am a technical consultant at Hewlett Packard Enterprise and a proud alumna of DSATM as well. Here I am today, change and become. These two words fascinate me the most. If you look at change as a whole, it is a huge canvas. It is a broader perspective. There's change happening in every sector. Agriculture, science, rocket science, us humans. When I plan to narrow it down to what should I talk, I previewed two major subjects. How we grew through change and how technology grew through change. Do you know why I selected these two? I am an information science and engineering graduate. I work with technology on a daily basis. And secondly, I'm a human as well. So how technology grew through change and how we grew through change. Let's understand how technology grew through change. Come on. From here to here, it hardly took me 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But in that 5 seconds, so many things would have changed around the world. Look at it in a very broader perspective. The satellite in the global orbit would have changed its position. Somewhere something would have begun, somewhere something would have come to an end. Millions of data packets would have traveled across the globe just for you to receive a phone call. And whatnot. So many things would have changed. And all of this left unnoticed. Change is very silent. But how did technology grow through change? Right? Technology is not like how we imagine today. It almost began very calmly. It was very humble in beginning. So let us all imagine, we are 100 years back, you're an 11-year-old child, okay? You're running across the street. And suddenly, at one point of time, you stopped. Because you hear this huge machinery noises in your ears and you can't resist it. Though it was hurting your ears, you were excited to know what it is. You turn towards your left and you see a very small workshop with a very small door frame. Excitedly, you get inside the workshop like this because the door frame was very small. So you had to get into the pathway. It had a very narrow hallway. In the walls of the hallway, right, there were dice all over, you know, DYE, dice, black, blue, and all of that. You started to wonder, what is it? And once you entered the workshop, you see a man holding a huge box. As he comes from that corner to this corner, it's making this sound. You know what it is? When two metal pieces hit together, you get this clinging sound, right? He's bringing this heavy box. He placed it on the table. As he placed it on the table, the dust on the table just mixed with the air. The box was so heavy. Later on, as you entered the pathway, right, you had this dye smell, inkish smell. You were able to feel it. And then you know what he did? He placed a very big wooden frame on the table. He picked something from the box. Those were metallic letters. Letters made with metals. He placed it one by one to form words. Words became sentences, sentences became paragraphs, paragraphs became pages, pages became stories, stories became book. How beautifully things go in this way. And then there's another man coming from that side carrying huge pile of papers. He kept it on the table that side, and this man just dipped his brush in the box and started to paint over the letters. And took one of those bulky papers, papers were thick. He kept it on that. He pulled one of those machines from that side, pressed it over it, making sure the ink stays intact on the paper. I think you all might have guessed what I'm talking about. Printing press. Printing press is one of the greatest inventions of all times. But now, how are we dealing with printing? Download an app, save the PDF or whatever document, click on print. Millions of papers gets printed in days. Thousands of papers get printed in hours. So what I'm actually trying to tell you here Those days, we were able to see technology. We were able to touch technology. As I told, the man was actually pulling the heavy lever to press on the paper. You felt heaviness on your shoulders. We were able to sense technology. But now, devices grew more powerful, but smaller. Connections became more faster, but simpler. Along the way, technology stopped asking us to do more and started doing more for us. Once upon a time, when messages took days for us to arrive, arrives in seconds. The devices that filled whole rooms fits in our pockets. And whole way, right? More than it growing, it redesigned itself. From loud to quiet, to more complex to seamless. And you know what? I'm talking about art of growing through change, right? Then what is the artistic element it is going through? Through every phase of change, through every era of change, through every minute of change it went through, it removed a layer of resistance. Less effort, less noise, doing more for us. And that is how it has been growing so gracefully until it became invisible. But not disappearing. It blended so well, it got into our life so well, so elegantly, and so beautifully. Once, it spoke in sparks and wires. Now, it whispers in silence. It's with us, it's doing more for us, and at the same time making sure we are comfortable enough. And that's how beautifully technology has been growing through change, artistically as well. Who are the ones using technology? It is us. We humans. Most of the time, it is the humans who use technology. How are we growing through change? How are we artistically growing through change? Let me tell you something. We live in a world where it sells to myth. Myth number one. You have to be very perfect. If you're not perfect enough, you're not fit. The second myth is that change, the 6-letter word, is very, very dangerous. Either fix it or fight against it. But me, a 22-year-old girl standing confidently in front of you, is here to tell opposite of it. The most awesome, the most authentic, the most amazing version of yourself is the one who adapts to changes accordingly, not like how others tell. Let me tell you a small story, right? November 29th, 2025, 10:05 a.m. was the very first time I boarded an aeroplane last year. It was from Bangalore to Chennai. I knew after 5 hours where I would be. I was so perfect with the itinerary, But the moment, trust me, the moment I landed on Chennai, it started pouring cats and dogs. Heavy rains, cyclone announcements everywhere. And you know what? My itinerary completely consists of outdoor places. I didn't know what to do. And I didn't go for any function or any event. By 2025, I wanted to board my very first flight. That's what I did. I sat for a moment. I get some time to see the airport as well. Just sat for the moment and analyzed. It's fine. Why always outdoors? Why can't we explore indoors? There are museums, there are art galleries, there are so many things that we can actually explore, right? And that is what I did. Outdoor places were 5, but I actually visited 7 indoor places, which are actually amazing. It was just a one-day trip. But the day I returned to Bangalore, it was not the cries, it was not the frustration that I bought, but the beautiful moments and a proud feeling of myself, yes, that I've handled the situation wisely and gracefully. Right. The next one is, as I told, technology is growing along with us. How did we adapt to that situation? How did we adapt to that one? You remember the very first time you did the UPI payment? You were so happy. But when UPI payments came to the starting point, when it was actually launched in market, everyone was resistant. Everyone was scared. Where will my money go? If I just do a single QR payment, will my money completely go away? Take the examples of street vendors. They were not ready, but at one point of time, when you started to trust technology, you actually started to believe. Next one is when ride booking app got launched into market, all the drivers were resistant. They didn't know what to do. They adapted to things. Nextly, teachers, right? Amazing souls. My mom is a teacher. My dad is a teacher. Amazing souls. Online classes hit them like a wave. They didn't know if students are actually understanding things, technical issues, no response from students. But later on, they initiated activities in the class, which eventually made students interactive. At that point of time, they grew through discomfort into flexibility. They made sure the people who's listening, the students who are listening, are actually understanding things. Next one are shopkeepers. Everything went digital. Everything went online. Will I lose my customers? What shall I do? Everything are bought online. Where will I go? At that point of time, they understood digital marketing. They updated. They sold goods online. At that point of time, they grew through pressure into resilience. Next, remote job. It has both good side as well as bad side. When offline work culture was in market, it was fine, right? But when we shifted to work from home for the very first time, it blurred boundaries. But later on, slowly we adjusted to it. Slowly we adapted to it. We gave ourselves some time. We gave our organization some time. And that is where they grew to change and they became independent. I was a part of student community. I will be a part of student community. Each and everyone sitting here are part of student community. You know why? Because every day we learn some or the other thing. We students, we face so many changes on a daily basis, but still we learn to adapt things. We learn to understand things. That is how we are artistically growing through change, by adapting each and every situation around us. It deserves an appreciation because at every point of time, each and every human being on this planet adapt to changes, era to era, day by day, year by year, minute by minute. We adapt to situation. We complain, I understand, and that is true. But at the same time, we give ourselves some time. We sit calmly, and you know what? We figure out things, and the last. We do so many things. We change, we adapt, we accept. What is the final destination? When you meet a kid for the very first time, what are the questions that you'll ask it? You'll ask about, what is your name? Which standard are you studying? Which school are you in? What do you want to become in your future? What do you want to be in your future? The word become holds a very powerful strength. It's not just another 6-letter word. In order to become something, you have to go through many stages. And that is also beautifully handled by us. Present to you the beauty of becoming. How beautifully we have become to who we are today. I told you, right? The UPI systems, the ride booking app, the online classes, everything. This beauty of becoming holds a humanly sense. It is very beautiful. You know how? The moment the street vendor came to know his or her money is safe and nice, no? Because till then, all we were used to was physical cash, physical coins. But when everything became digitalized, and they knew that things are fine, everything is perfect, the smile or the relief they would have felt, that is beauty. I usually feel becoming is. It is clear, it is planned, it is perfect. Everything will stay in place, but it's not. It's usually messy, it's uncertain, and it's slow. Things take time. I'm hardly 22 years of age. I understand that. But these are the things I see on a daily basis. And these are the things I'm fascinated about. And these are the things that awes me. The beauty of becoming, the art of growing through change, isn't just my perception or my mentality sharing, is the way I have been grown up, I have been seeing things around. Let me tell you something. Don't forget to appreciate things around yourself. Why always around yourself? Things about yourself also. Always try to appreciate the things you have been doing. Try to appreciate the people next to you, because you don't know that one small appreciation and the one small word that you tell others will actually mean a lot. And let me tell you something. You have been beautifully becoming the way you are, and you're artistically growing through change. You know what? We became ready for what's next. And we are 100% stronger on what's going to come. Thank you. Signing off, Amita.